Welcome to Out of the Rough. I'm Fred Arnold, and in this show we're going to highlight opportunities and solutions to help get you out of the rough and into success, both personally and professionally. In these tough economic times, I want to provide you practical solutions to many of life's challenges. Today I've got my good friend Jim Harmon. Jim, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Fred.
Jim is the owner of California Pest Management, and just a quick background. You were in the industry for a long time in California, and then you sold that firm, and then you went to the Midwest, I believe it was, East Coast.
Yes,
and
Indiana.
Came back and built this company from nothing, and that's what the essence of this great country is.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell us about your background and your education.
Well, my background, I've been 29 years in the industry, but I came from the college background. I went bachelor's Purdue, master's Virginia Tech, and then MBA at Cal Poly. And my last company was actually my business plan. So that was my project for my MBA, and we did wonderful with that and ended up selling it. We followed our exit strategy, stayed with that business plan, and then came back and started over, and it's going even better than before.
Yep, you and Gail just couldn't, you just missed California, didn't you?
We loved it. We had to come back.
Yeah, and the weather, the opportunity, the people, there's so much here. Let's talk about your expertise. You do a lot of things other than just spraying the ground for ants.
That's
Tell
correct.
us about some of the segments of your business.
Yeah, the market segments we're dealing with are wide and extremely various, to be honest with you. We cover not just pest control, which most people understand that's around your house, spraying for ants, or around your business where you work, or maybe the restaurant that you eat at. We go also beyond that. I have a lot of different degrees, a lot of background. We go into the landscape field, which a lot of companies aren't touching. We take care of the lakes. We'll be maintaining a lake system for, say, a cemetery or a park. We'll also take care of their trees in a homeowners association, make sure the oaks don't have oak sudden death syndrome. Go into the palms where the new red palm weevil that's out and really becoming a major pest. We actually can prevent these issues. Then we'll do weed work under the power lines, making sure we don't have weeds growing and then causing a potential wildfire. Then on top of that, also the plant pests. Lastly, we go back into the structural and specializing on bed bugs. So we're doing a lot of that lately.
Let's cover the first one, pest control. The basics on the pest control, because I'm a big firm believer, if you can go organic on that one item, consider doing it, because your dog lays in your backyard next to the house. Your kids play around the house. I know that you don't spray that much, but is that a good option? Tell me more about that and my belief that that is a good option.
Well, the organic option is stemmed from a green alternative. Now, we're a member of the United States Green Building Council. I'm actually a LEED accredited professional, which means Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, which, in other words, I key in on alternatives to traditional pest control. Now, when we're looking at alternatives, the organics, as you mentioned, that's a misnomer. Essentially, all chemicals are processed. We have to do something with them to make them get the chemical to the pest. It's a matter of where you place them, how you place them, the quantities that you're using, looking at the environment as a microenvironment. Each house is its own little environment. And that's where we look at it, and that's how we're different from everybody else. Most companies just spray it and run. If they say they're doing green, then they're using certain products that are naturally occurring, such as a neem-based product out of a neem tree, or plant-based, so it's rosemary oil, thyme oil. But unfortunately, these products have such an incredible fragrance to them. It's like, imagine crushing a spice in your fresh basil leaf, much more pungent. That odor is going to be in your house. And a lot of people don't like that. They want us to go back with our traditional no odor products. So it's a give and take.
Traditional methods. When someone's looking for the basic pest control, and we'll stay on that for just a moment, because a lot of people have that product. What should they be asking? What should they be looking for? What are your recommendations if someone's shopping for that right pest control company?
Well, the first thing to do is when you call up that company, how do they answer the phone? Do they answer in a professional manner, or is it, yeah, hello? That's the first thing you need to be wary of. Check them out. Look up on the Structural Pest Control Board website. Make sure they're licensed and they're insured. Almost anybody can put a sign on the side of their truck and start doing pest control until they're caught. Those are the two main things. When they come out and start talking to you, make sure they understand the insects. They're looking at the environment. If you want somebody to just come out and spray and you want the cheapest service possible, great. Then that's exactly what you're going to get. But if you want someone that's going to care about your house, look at the environment, and work with you and use as little chemical as possible. That's the key thing to look at. If they just come out and spray, don't worry about it. If that's what you want, great. But if you want more specifics, they need to use little chemical, be very careful with what they're doing, and look at the environment. And give you suggestions on things you have to do as a homeowner to clean up your house, clean up around the yard, trim the plants, better fertilization, watch the watering. Everything works together. And if we control the environment, then the pest problems go away and we use very minimal chemicals. That's what you want to look for with a good company.
When you're engaging a company, they usually want some type of contract or some type of agreement. What's typical?
Normal contracts you're going to see in structural pest control are going to be an annual contract. It shouldn't. Sometimes they'll go with month to month. Be careful because those guys may or may not be around month to month. Mm-hmm. But make sure you always have a 30-day clause that you can cancel at any time, and that they're going to make sure that you are not, as a homeowner, you're going to indemnify the company for damage to the plants or anything else as they're doing their work. That's the number one thing in a contract to look at. Make sure they're telling you everything they're going to do specifically, in detail. Don't just say, I'm going to control your cockroaches and check that box and that's good enough. Make sure they tell you everything in writing. Otherwise, it's your word versus theirs.
And if anybody has a question, they can always call Jim.
Yes.
Jim at 626-633-6620. I want to get that out there. But I'm going to ask you to stay. We're going to jump to a quick break. But when we come back, I want to talk to Jim about bed bugs. That's the new thing. Bed bugs, how to prevent them, and what to do if you do get them. We'll be right back.